გამარჯობა ყველას, სანამ ჩვენს ღონისძიებას შევუდგებით, მე ქართულად გაგაცნობთ დღევანდელი ღონისძიების პროგრამას და განრიგს. ეს გახლავთ Technovas ღონისძიება, რომელიც ტარდება Google-ის დეველოპერული კლუბის ინიციატივით, რომელიც ლიდერიც გახლავთ ნეგარ ვაჰიდი, Ilia სახელმწიფო უნივერსიტეტის მესამე კურსელი კომპიუტერული ინჟინერიის მიმართულებით. დღეს მოგეხსენებათ ვისაუბრებთ ისეთ თემებზე, როგორიც არის კომპიუტერული და ელექტრული ინჟინერია და მისი პერსპექტივები და კარიერული მომავალი საქართველოსა თუ უცხოეთში. სტუმრებით საკმაოდ საინტერესო ყავს მოწვეული, ეს გახლავთ გიორგი ვეშაპიძე, რომელიც არის ელექტრული და ელექტრონული ინჟინერიის პროგრამის ხელმძღვანელი Ilia სახელმწიფო უნივერსიტეტში, ასევე გიორგი გახლავთ პროფესორი ექსპერიმენტული ფიზიკის მიმართულებით. გიორგის დაცული აქვს ხარისხი იაპონიაში, დოქტორის ხარისხზე ვსაუბრობ, ასევე მან პოსტდოკი გააგრძელა კანზასის უნივერსიტეტში და შემდეგ მეორე პოსტდოკი დაიცვა იაპონიაში. Ilia სახელმწიფო უნივერსიტეტის გარდა გიორგი ასწავლის სან-დიეგოს და Ilia სახელმწიფო უნივერსიტეტის ერთობლივ პროგრამებზე. მეორე სტუმარი, რომელთანაც ჩავატარებთ დაახლოებით 20 წუთიანი ინტერვიუს და გავიგებთ მის გამოცდილებას კომპიუტერულ და ელექტრულ ინჟინერიაში, ეს გახლავთ Erekle Magradze. Erekle Ilia სახელმწიფო უნივერსიტეტში შემოუერთდა უკვე 2 წელზე მეტია. ის ამჟამად არის EPAM სისტემის წამყვანი სისტემური ინჟინერი, ასევე Ilia სახელმწიფო უნივერსიტეტის ასოცირებული პროფესორი კომპიუტერული ინჟინერიის მიმართულებით და ის ასევე უძღვება იმავე ახალ ინგლისურენოვან პროგრამას კომპიუტერული მეცნიერებების მიმართულებით, რომელიც გახლავთ ახალი ინგლისურენოვანი პროგრამა, რომელიც განვითარდა სან-დიეგოს სახელმწიფო უნივერსიტეტთან თანამშრომლობით. ასევე ჩემთვის ძალიან საინტერესო ნაწილი გახლავთ, სადაც ჩვენ ვუწევთ ჩვენი უნივერსიტეტის სტუდენტებს, ესენი გახლავთ Bilal Mohammed და Sanaz Rahbari, რომლებიც გახლავთ კომპიუტერული ინჟინერიის სტუდენტები Ilia სახელმწიფო უნივერსიტეტში და ნეგართან ერთად ისინი გაგვაცნობენ მათ გამოცდილებას ამ მიმართულებით და მოგუყვებიან რა გამოწვევების თუ შესაძლებლობების წინაშე დგანან. ახლა მე გადავერთვები ინგლისურ ენაზე, რადგან ჩვენი ღონისძიება მიმდინარეობს ინგლისურ ენაზე. So hello everyone. Apologies for my long Georgian speech. Now we turn into English and I will introduce Negar Vahid, who will moderate this event today and present 4 very interesting speakers to our professors from Ilia State University and to our students from the same university from computer engineering course. So Negar, stage is yours and I'm looking forward to hear all the interesting experiences.
Okay, so thank you, Tico. Hello, everyone. I'm Negar. As Tico said, I will be moderating today's event. The first speaker of ours is Giorgi Veshapidze. And you can, after we finish talking, you can ask your questions either on Zoom or I'm checking Facebook as well. So feel free to ask questions. Now, hello, Professor.
Hello, Negar. Thanks for inviting to this evening. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here. Okay, so can you please introduce yourselves in your own words and mention what projects you're currently working on?
Okay, so basically Tico already introduced me. I'm Giorgi Veshapidze, professor at Ilia State University in experimental physics and also head of the computer engineering program, English language program, which now is the second year that we are accepting students. Mm-hmm. So it's quite a new program relatively, but I want to say that almost all the staff that are involved in this program, they teach also at the dual San Diego program as well with US syllabus and US educational program and US lab. So I just wanted to emphasize that quality of our program is quite good, and I can say the same about computer engineering also and computer science programs that we have. Yes, I did my PhD work in Japan. It was I finished master in Tbilisi, Georgia, Ilia State University, and I was a theorist. A very little connection with experiment or hardware. But in Japan, so I moved to experimental group, so it changed very suddenly, and it was really amazing to see, and I was really, how to say, surprised to see that all these equations and formulas that we learn in school and universities, they really work in practice, you know. That you can rely on them. Yeah, it was somewhat like magic for me to find this connection between reality and the field. Yeah. So after that, I moved to United States, Kansas, where I did my postdoc. I changed the subject, so during my PhD, the subject was in ion molecule convergence and coincidence detection. But in US, so I moved to research topic, which is called ultra cold and ultra fast. So we were using lasers to cool to very low temperatures, to like 100 microkelvin, some rubidium atomic vapor. And then did some different things with this very cold gas using again lasers, but these lasers were ultra fast lasers. Ultra fast means it's like 10 to minus 13 or 14 seconds. Yeah, so it's really short pulses of laser, and because of that shortness of time duration, they have special properties. They have broad spectrum, and all the different frequency components have very well established phase relationship with each other, and by controlling the amplitudes and phases of different color components, so say of the light pulse, you could induce different things, different say, chemical reactions in this ultra cold atomic vapor. So these are the stuff here that we are doing.
That's very interesting. So are you working on this project in Georgia currently?
In Georgia, so I want to start this project. The problem is that, so unlike theory, the experimental science requires some budget. You know, I mean, of course, theoretical science side also requires funding, but if you want to do experimental research, you need to buy some equipment, and this equipment usually are special equipment. You cannot just go and buy it in a supermarket or order online. Of course, you can order online, but there are very special shops, special places, and prices also for scientific equipment are usually quite high, yeah, because there are not so many customers, yeah. But those that are using it, they really need it. Yeah? So the price is usually quite high, and it's not easy to start research, experimental research, especially if it involves high vacuum, yeah? Because then you need vacuum pumps, several stages, and you need vacuum chambers, which are really cool, well sealed, and it doesn't have any leak. And so it is quite expensive, but if you are doing research in optics, you can do it for quite reasonable price. Yeah. So if you want to go to experimental science and are deciding which field to go to, and if you want to stay in Georgia for some time, I would stick to relatively, how to say, relatively lower priced projects. Yeah.
That's
But still you can do with not much funding. You still can do research which you can publish in journals, international journals. Yeah.
So pro tip, everyone, optics. Okay. So so you mentioned that the electrical engineering thing that you're doing is basically kind of like you said, it's in English. That's very exciting. Can you tell us, like, why would someone who knows Georgian would want to study in English?
First of all, so once you have the international diploma, I mean English language diploma, then there are much fewer questions about your English abilities. Some, I don't know, some employers or graduate school project principal investigators, yeah, professors might not ask you for like TOEFL or other certificates. He or she can just say that, okay, you finished English language program. You should know then all the different terms used in this field. You know, it's one thing to learn something in Georgian and know it very well, but if you don't know how this thing is called in English, yeah, then
Yeah, it's hard.
it will take lots of time again to learn. Yeah, so it's, I think, good idea to learn it in English in the first place.
Okay, yeah, okay. So basically what you're saying is that it's very, like, it's pretty easy to study in some foreign country when you have a English language degree.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Not only study, but also to start working. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So can you tell us, like, how and when did you know that you were interested in, well, your degree is in physics, but like what happened here that you were like, okay, like engineering is really cool?
You're asking about physics or engineering, or both?
Both, you can.
Okay, okay. So yeah, when it's basically happened when I was in 11 or 12 years old, I read some science fiction book, and the book actually was written before the lasers were invented. But antagonist in the book had some device which like produced light beam, and it was so intense that it could burn everything and request ransoms and so on. So, and then I also knew that there were lasers. Yeah, I didn't know that this was something special. I just knew the word, and then I looked it up, and then that's when I got into it. Yeah, basically at that time I was studying in a special music school, and I actually graduated from it, and most of the graduates from there, they go to the conservatory, playing piano or doing something else. But yeah, I went to physics. Yeah. So after this, of course, I read a lot. I read about like theory of relativity, that time is not absolute, and distance is, and all this stuff. So after that, of course, I was fascinated with all this, and that's how I ended up there here.
Okay, yeah, relativity is always so cool when like you're studying it and stuff.
Not just quantum mechanics. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, exactly. And my last question is that how do you think Iliauni is different to other students, like other universities, I mean? So like, except having like a good education, like good resources, what is different about it?
So good thing about Iliauni, the main reason actually I joined Iliauni is that it's a relatively new university. It has a new structure, so to say. This means that you face less, let's say, less obstacles, yeah. Because organizations which exist for a long time, they have their own traditions, and their own internal relationships between different subgroups, you know, and it's I would say difficult to gain food there, to start a career in such kind of places. And Iliauni looked like a young organization with a bright future. And that's why I joined it. And I don't regret. Actually, I can say that yes, it is really, I would say, many things are easier to do in Ilia State, I believe, than in some older established.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I mean, I'm biased, but I'm studying here. But I can say that student clubs and everything is, I want to say it's better than other universities because it's like closer to the European standards, I would say. And I think that's like for me as a student is what's special about Iliauni. I'll wait for you guys to ask your questions on either Zoom or Facebook. I'm checking both, and we can, you know. Okay, so if no one has any question, I would ask another one from you, which is if you could give students maybe in 12th grade, like what piece of advice would you give them?
I would advise first of all to learn English if they haven't done so yet. It's somewhat oxymoron to give this advice in English. Yeah. Learn English, and so after that, just do things that you are interested in doing, or if you have to do things that you are not interested in to do, but you have to do, just don't postpone it. Yeah, just try to finish it in normal amount of time. Also, don't give up on projects or things that you start, even if it looks difficult, yeah, and you don't see the reason why it's not working, or you know, just don't give up, and you will always find reason if you reason why it's not working, yeah. So yeah, that would be my advice, I guess.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Okay, everyone, our next speaker is Erekle Magradze, if I'm pronouncing it right. Hello, Professor.
Hello, Negar. Thanks for inviting.
Yeah, thanks for showing up. Okay, so can you please introduce yourself and tell us some cool stuff that you're doing right now?
I'm associate professor at Ilia State University. My direction is computer science. In particular, it's machine learning research and AI research. Right now, we are doing research in the direction of natural language processing for Georgian language. So we are collecting lots of interesting data to enrich our corpora. We are also working on syntax analyzer and also lemmatizer, which are essential tools for splitting the text into the machine readable and processing entities. So this is right now my main research. The second main research that I'm also doing is related to the time series analysis, which was my topic of kind of research for a very long time, including my doctoral studies. I've been working in Atlas collaboration at CERN for almost 8 years. I was member of Atlas collaboration when the Higgs particle discovery has happened, so I'm very proud of it. And there were lots of interesting challenges in high energy physics for computing. which I think right now are facing the cloud infrastructures and cloud systems. And having that experience at that time, because high energy physics computing is very much related to analyzing lots of data, and you cannot do this kind of analysis in a single country or in the single data center. So imagine that in the beginning of 2000s, so to be more precise, in 1998, there was already a huge network of computing centers around the world. Mainly it was in Europe and US, and 2 data centers in Asia, so in Japan and also in Australia, so in the eastern part. And these data centers were interconnected over the internet with the special protocols written for these particular tasks. And imagine that computing tasks were sent around intensively. So hundreds of thousands of computing tasks were, data analysis computing tasks were sent around, data was sent around, transferred here and there around the globe. And that was very interesting. Imagine, so there was a network at that time was very slow. There were not that many optical fiber channels connecting data centers. So everything was very much challenging. And these protocols and the systems and this infrastructure, this experience laid as a basis to the modern cloud, commercial cloud systems, because there were lots of interesting articles written about that, about experience of distributed computing. So I was lucky that I learned about it, and now I'm applying this knowledge, and I have feeling that I got an experience that is like maybe 5 years in advance to the modern technologies. And I'm trying to implement this experience and knowledge at Ilia State University to give more understanding about these challenges, about future challenges to the students.
Okay, well, that's really exciting, especially about the Higgs part. So yeah, um, well, you've been abroad for a long time, and now you're back to Georgia. Um, what is, in your opinion, like a skill in data science that is lacking in Georgia, and like, you know, the new generation that are like starting university maybe next year or something can focus on?
Especially, it's not only in Georgia, but I would say it's a worldwide skill that is missing. It's a data pre-processing. So we are very excited to create some kind of model of something. Maybe it's time series prediction model, or the next sentence or next paragraph prediction model, or computer vision model. Yes, it's exciting task, it's exciting challenge, it's exciting problem. But that's one thing when you are doing this on the toy data provided during the study course, and there is another case when you are actually facing the real data, because real data, it's really different from the data that we're facing during our education. So when we study, we are making our focus on understanding and application of the model. And that's what we would like also to change in our computer science program, to make to give also sufficient attention and portion of knowledge to analyze the data you are trying to model, because this defines what should be the model and what kind of parameters, how many layers you should have, what kind of layers you should have if you are using deep learning neural networks, right? If you are using transformers, so what should you do? Maybe you should apply probabilistic approach. Maybe you should apply pure linear algebra approach. You don't know. So, and this is something that comes from the data. Maybe this data is continuous. Maybe this data is discrete. You should know how to deal with that. It's not right to apply the same model to all kinds of data. So to summarize, I think the most important skill that I would advise students to learn is the statistical analysis of the data, so data science. Pay attention to this subject. This is very helpful. at least that you will have good understanding, good answers to the questions that you will definitely have after your model will fail. Then you will ask yourself, why it has failed? I did everything right. You should look into the data. So that's my answer.
Yeah, that actually I can vouch for the data pre-processing thing because I'm working on it now, and it's yeah, it's not easy at all, especially after like you actually want to work with real life data. It's like really different. So I can vouch for that.
I would like also to add maybe a few sentences about that. I was thinking that so how I became inspired about machine learning and data science. Actually, this was the challenge that particle and high energy physicists were facing. So when I was watching how PhD students, older PhD students than I was, were struggling with data. So I realized that 80% of the new particle discovery lies on the data pre-processing and data preparation. So on 80%, these guys. So imagine that the accuracy of the Higgs particle discovery was 5 sigma. Who knows the statistics? They would understand that it's like almost 99%, right? So almost 100%. So with 5 sigma accuracy to get the result with 5 sigma accuracy, you have to do huge amounts of data pre-processing. 80, I would say even 90% of entire tasks and jobs that these guys were doing, it was data pre-processing. So, and then the final step was the modeling and data analysis. That's how they call it. And this is the same for the machine learning and the data science, because data will dictate you what to do, how to improve your model, how to improve your mathematical approach to model certain very complex multi-parameter process. So that's all about it. It's basically from the painful experience, and I think you had the same. You are having now the same.
Oh yeah, it's like a present form, like continuous. Yes, yes, that's there.
Welcome to the club.
Yes. Um, so can you tell us about like the job opportunities that we have in Georgia for data science in general, like as an intern maybe, or as a junior?
Yeah, so the good thing is that Georgian tech community has realized that maybe we should position ourselves, I mean, the country, entire country, as a country which provides solutions for AI and machine learning. Because everyone knows that, for example, in India, so you can get support and services for the software engineering. The same is true for our neighbors, like Russia, Armenia, or Ukraine. But Georgia somehow now is positioned as a country who is able to provide the AI services, software services plus AI services on the international level. There are many companies emerging in this direction. And actually, I would say it's not only enough to have, there is a certain attitude in among Georgian tech people. I wouldn't say that it's majority. Hopefully, and luckily, it's not majority, but still, especially among youngsters, there is an attitude that, come on, I have done this multiple times. That's easy. Okay, you have done this multiple times. Maybe you should try to get some kind of certification. If you don't have some sufficient enough experience, try to get certified. The certification process, preparation for the examination, will teach you a lot, will prepare you to the many details, and will force you to pay attention to many interesting technical nuances that will be very important in your future job career. Otherwise, I would say if you are certified cloud engineer, if you are certified machine learning cloud engineer, if you are certified machine learning engineer or AI engineer, data scientist, in any with any kind of internationally recognized certification program, then you have higher chances to be hired by Georgian tech company who is working on outsourcing and outstaffing projects. And in this way, you will be able to learn and get international experience. And Georgia, in that case, is a very good place, actually, because life costs are not high. So in comparison to other countries, European, US countries, right? So European countries, US, and maybe a few Asian countries, right? Life conditions are good. Internet speed is good. At least it allows you to work. Tech communities, I mean, tech groups and meetups are quite active. I would say there are many events happening, ongoing. If you are following this, and you can learn, you can be involved in many groups. You can do socialization with your professional from the professional perspective. So community is quite active. That's what I would like to say. And in this case, if you take all this into account, then I would say Georgia is a nice place to plan your career in this direction. And actually, right now, for the last 3-4 years, there is a tendency that lots of people from our neighboring countries and also from Western Europe, they are coming here for 6 months, for a year, for 2 years. They are staying longer. They are staying at least definitely for 6 months, and they are working from here because they like here. We have good cuisine, we have nice environment, we have a possibility to learn without additional stress. So I would say if you stay here in Georgia, you will feel comfortable and you will have enough energy, time, and resources and motivation to reach excellence in delivering of the international IT and especially machine learning and AI projects.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And I feel like even in the past 2 years, there has been like a huge rise in the interest in data science and machine learning in Georgia, which is great for us. So yeah, that's there. One other question that I have is that, so Iliauni, well, it's special to me. Again, I'm biased. What do you think Iliauni offers except having like a great educational, process and everything?
So the good thing with Iliauni is that actually there is a tendency that lots of students who would like to study on the master's programs, they are coming to the Ilia State University. So for getting advanced knowledge in various subjects like biochemistry, biology, ecology, physics, software engineering. This already indicates that we have very good set of professionals who can teach some advanced subjects. That's one thing. The second thing is that personally, I have discovered that the teams are very open. So if you will decide, for example, to do the interdisciplinary research, let's say in AI and biology, for example, right? You will find the person who can help you to do that. If you will decide to do some data analysis and ecology, you will find the person who can help you to do that. So imagine that computer science, AI, machine learning, data science, these are subjects that are very interesting. But if you are like a person who would like to apply this and get the results very fast during the master studies, let's say, there is such an opportunity. For the bachelor studies, right now we are kind of doing lots of improvements to achieve the same level. For example, all the new programs that were launched, like electrical engineering, computer science, civil engineering, computer engineering program that is ongoing, right? At least for sure, the electrical engineering and computer science programs we are offering at the last semester, the group project, right? So the final project. And this final project will help you to do the actual task, challenge yourself to do something very interesting, right? And this can be done together with other people working in other disciplines, right? In the disciplines that I have already mentioned. So Ilia University is the university who will allow you to do interdisciplinary research. So personally, I wanted to be a neurosurgeon because of the corruption and failed system in Georgia when I was graduating my school. I wasn't able to get into the medical university. But I was always interested in interdisciplinary research about modeling of the brain and mathematics, using mathematics. And then I ended up with neural networks and AI. So the same now is possible for Ilia State University. If you are not sure which subject, which profession you would like to take, Ilia State University is a great place to try out different interdisciplinary research topics, research projects, and you will definitely find out where you would like to go, which direction is more interesting for you.
Yeah, great points. I just want to add something else, which is, I mean, you kind of covered it, but the great thing about Iliauni is that you can have like a great networking opportunity. Like all the professors are experts. We have experts of different stuff, and you can basically just, you know, make a connection there, which is gonna last because they're your professor, so they're gonna remember you, which is amazing. And I think that's like the winning trait of Ilia that works best for me. So I was just gonna say that as well. Yeah, so my last question. If someone wants to, like, is hesitant to choose maybe computer science as their major, what advice do you have for them, firstly? Second of all, like, if someone, you know, decided to pick an engineering degree, what advice do you have for them?
So if you would like to, if you think to go with the computer science at Ilia State University, be prepared for many interesting subjects related to the maths, because our computer science program is very much oriented in AI, machine learning, and also the theoretical computer science topics. So if you really want to do some interesting research towards algorithms and complexity research, for example, right? Computational complexity research, feel free to go here because you will get a really good foundation that will help you to continue your studies at Ilia State University or any other university outside. So another advantage of Ilia State University is that we have very good connections with Erasmus programs. So you can apply for Erasmus Plus and you will be able to get nice exchange opportunities also in Europe. On top of that, there are many international programs and supporting to expand your learning experience abroad in US, in Europe. So there are plenty of opportunities available in Ilia State University. That's, I would say, another advantage. And in that course, computer science program is also promoting this kind of experience to have collaboration on international level. So you will apply here for your final project. You will be able to communicate with my colleagues, with my connections, with connections of other professors at the computer science program, and you will have interesting advices from people working on the international level in many areas of the world. Okay, so that's basically the advice about the computer science. So be prepared for interesting theoretical subjects, be prepared for machine learning AI courses, be prepared for interesting final project, and you will not have any time to spend it like without interest. That's kind of hard, but also challenging and interesting. The second thing, if you will decide to go in the engineering part, so my advice is that be prepared also for a very intensive program, opportunity to meet interesting professionals in that field, opportunity to have nice practical challenges. So from time to time we will have, at least for the computer science program, definitely, I'm sure for other programs as well. So there will be possibilities for students to do some interesting projects, short and long-term projects, paid ones, of course, and this will help you to gain experience within the university. So there is a problem in engineering that many students from the second, third course, they are deciding, okay, it's enough. Study, we don't want to learn, we don't want to spend time on learning this interesting but boring subjects. We would like to go and start working. It's known. And we would like to offer interesting jobs and projects, paid ones, at the university. So you will not have to leave university. You will be able to stay here, do interesting practical job, and also learn together with the same professors who are teaching you. So that's an advantage. And also an advice to concentrate on studying rather than, so every minute you will invest in learning and studying, it will pay off later. Every minute that you will invest in starting like immediate job, you will have always feeling that, okay, I missed something, I would like to catch up something, and this feeling will annoy you.
Yeah, that was that was like a personal attack here, but yes, that's very true.
No, it's not personal, it's very common.
No,
It's
yeah, I
very
know,
common.
but
I
like,
know.
yeah, I
Look
relate.
around how many students are working right now. It's go ahead, please don't
Yeah,
stop, but keep this in mind.
you're very right. I'll keep that in mind. This is like an intervention. Okay, so we have a question. Are professors involved in extracurricular activities with students? I'm assuming like IEEE or something.
Yeah. So we are involved in IEEE. We are also involved in, right now we are not talking about it, but soon we'll announce that. We are
Mhm.
also involved in collaboration with interesting international companies. So yeah, and soon we'll hopefully announce that. So there will be like close collaboration, close idea exchange, not only with IEEE, but with these guys. And hopefully we'll have a common research. So regarding extracurricular curricular research, we will be also inviting our colleagues and friends from abroad to organize interesting meetups. And yeah, so we have the software engineering club. Software engineering club, some because of the lack of the time, stopped working. But now we are trying to recover it, but not with a single tutor, but with multiple tutors. So, and this will help students to see interesting algorithmic problems to solve. And right now I'm negotiating with few people to organize and start it again as soon as possible. And once while the software engineering club will be up and running, so then that will be basically one additional extracurricular activity. Sorry for yeah.
Okay, that's exciting. I didn't know about that. I would also like to add that we also had hackathons, which actually you were one of the mentors. We also have Google Developers Club, which you're watching right now. We had multiple professors from Iliauni that like helped us through this. So yeah, the answer to your question is yes. Professors are involved in extracurricular activities. If there is no more question, I think we're done. I will wait if you have any questions. Yes. What programming language should I learn?
That's the question for $1 million. So
Yeah.
I wish I knew. So or I wish I know the answer. So the thing is that, so let me share with you my experience. So there are like further programming languages like C++ and Java that are like, if you're familiar with them, if you know how to use them, if you've been working, if you have done at least one or two big projects with these languages, then you can consider that you are familiar with software engineering concepts. The next step is to get familiar with software design patterns and architectural patterns. And this is really language independent. So if you're familiar with design patterns, if you're familiar with algorithms, if you're familiar with software engine, basic concepts of the software engineering, it doesn't matter which language you will decide to learn. So you can become a polyglot. So you can, like, if you know how C++ works, how object-oriented patterns works, if you know how the functional programming work, if you know how Scala programming language works, it means that you will also know how Java programming language works. If you know how to package the software, then if you know the algorithms, if you know the design patterns, you're ready to go. You don't need to say that I know Go language and that's why I'm best. You might know the Go language, but if somebody knows, let's say, Python, or if somebody knows, let's say, Elixir, and also on top of that language, they know design patterns, algorithms, and etc., they're in a much better position than you with your Golang language knowledge. So it's not enough to learn syntax. Learning syntax takes 2 weeks, not more. Then you should learn the concepts. So from syntactic perspective, it's easy. Once you learn one programming language, it will be clear. But when you will decide to learn the concepts, then you will open the door, which will kind of open perspectives to learn whatever programming language you want and whatever technology you want, whatever platform you want. That's my answer.
Yes, 100% agreed. Thank you. And Professor Veshapidze says Python as well. No one asked for my opinion, but I'm going to share it. I would suggest first learn C or C++ or both, and then move on to any other language. Because if you know how C or C++ works, you can conquer the world. Like you can do whatever you want. So that's that. Thank you, Erekle, for being here.
Thank you, Nigar.
Thank you so much. Okay, so the next speaker is Mohammed Bilal, who is also my dear friend. Hello, Bilal.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
We're fine. How are you?
Doing pretty well. Yeah, thanks for having me here.
Yes, thanks for being with us. Okay, so introduce yourself, please.
So my name is Mohammed Bilal and I'm a 6th semester student at Ilia. I'm in the computer engineering program and currently the bachelor's. And alongside the university, I'm also working. So yeah, that was really fun from Erekle, but yeah, but I'm working and I'm working as the head of tech for Globe. And it's a e-commerce startup, skincare. Yeah, I'm working for all of their tech side.
Okay, so what do you do exactly and when did you start working?
So exactly what my job is at the moment is mostly project management related, alongside as working as a backend developer for them. And my work started from an internship. I actually started as a social media intern at one point, just to have something on a resume that I have professional experience in the terms of how a job works, what a job environment looks like. And turns out I actually could add value there. And voila, it started from one thing to the other to the other. Started off with basic websites all the way to web applications. And now we're having our own content management systems, our own database management systems. We've got our own cloud storage. It's all of that. And we're just jumbling around and playing with new stuff every day.
Okay, cool. So you do web development, you said?
Yeah. Web development, prime focus as backend developer, Node.js.
Node.js. So your main programming language is Node.js.
Node.js, yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So now that you're working, you said for a year. So I mean, more than a year probably. So can you give us like an insight about technology in Georgia in general, like the jobs and stuff?
Actually, it's a pretty good market, I'd say, in Georgia. So if you are willing to learn and work, Georgia has immense opportunity. And especially like, I think it's even the people who especially can speak and understand Georgian or something even like Russian, which is kind of common language here. It's very much like the best. It's a gold mine. It's a gold mine. You can literally walk in, and there's so many places that would give you a job or just give you experiences. And I think more than the job, the experiences matter. You've got a lot of advertising agencies going digital. You've got so much of e-commerce going on in Georgia. There's a lot of remote e-commerce services offered now where people in Georgia are managing someone's business sitting in the UK, Australia, somewhere else. You've got a lot of, how Erekle said before, that we've got these AI startups over here. We've got ML startups here. We've got someone like
Yeah.
Nigar, you're doing, yeah, you've got freelancing here. Like Georgia has a lot of scope in freelancing alongside all of the rest. So yeah, it's a pretty good market.
Yeah, I would like to add to what Bilal said is that I mean, even me myself, I'm starting a I mean, well, I have a startup, and people like me actually need interns and junior programmers. That could be you. So there's a lot of opportunities for you if you're willing to take one. Speaking of which, how did you find your job? Like, did you search on like how? Where did you find it?
So my experience with jobs has been pretty, it was a pretty bumpy ride to be fair, to get a job or even to get an internship. But I think it became easier when I found the right places. So my jobs, like the online portal, that's one. But I found mine on Facebook jobs out of nowhere when Facebook jobs was really new in Georgia. So I think they started allowing online jobs in like a year and a half ago. That's when they started it. And that's around the same time when I got my job.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was just like Facebook jobs, just searched up random keywords, technology, and then I was like tech intern, I was like social media, and then I was like internet, and I finally found one, which I was like, yeah, I'm happy with this. So yeah.
Okay, so the moral of the story is just basically search. Search the
Yeah,
internet.
yeah, I'd say that's exactly it. Search the internet, try finding things, and sometimes it's not exactly what you want, but read the fine script is what I'd say. Like read that
Oh,
small line which intrigues you, and you can probably make an opportunity there. That's the beauty of Georgia.
that is the beauty of Georgia. I can vouch for that. And so, well, obviously you study in Ilia. What aspect of Ilia did help you the best in your job, in your professional life, basically?
In professional life, I think it's Ilia's approach to having practical education alongside theoretical. I think that's the biggest thing. I could sit and learn about concepts all day and night, but I think it's the practical knowledge of something, doing it in person, and having real life scenarios to do it on, or a simulated real life scenario to do it on, which brings a lot of experience and problems. So I think that's been the best challenge so far with Ilia.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard when you have projects of that scale or if you have projects of that kind where you really need to brainstorm, but it brings in a lot of discipline, and it also brings in a lot of knowledge that you otherwise would never have. That's the biggest
Uh,
part with Ilya.
I 100% agree with you. Again, as a student, we're having everything that you need to actually even start a business of your own and like do project management, which is really cool. And I haven't seen it in like a curriculum of other universities. Like it's not a common thing, which is makes it very practical, I would say.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so we talked about the the skills that you need, for example, coding and stuff like that. What soft skills are needed in your job?
um I think just if you just take out just knowing all the languages or everything, a
Mhm.
lot a lot of what work related life that I've seen right now has, there's a few things. One is teamwork. Being
Yes.
able be You should be able to work with a team, and that doesn't mean that the team has to be someone you like. It's not always the same hee hee ha ha happy mood. There's a lot of stress that goes around. There's a lot of deadlines you need to meet. There's a lot of things that catch fire. There's a lot of things you plan well and they don't work out the same way. But I think it's always good to have a team you can rely on, and that means trusting them, that means working with them, that means communicating with them. That's one of the biggest skills: communication and teamwork. Full stop. From So basically, the place where I work at is a startup. When I joined, there was about 10 people. Today we are scaling up, and it's good. But I think the biggest thing that's helped us pull through, and I've seen other examples, and I read books and listen to podcasts. It's always that communication, teamwork. You can lack a skill, but if you work with people hard enough, and if you communicate hard enough, you can pull it off. You can do it.
I agree with you 100%. People think if you're studying like an engineering thing or like a computer science thing, you would not need to talk to people or socialize, but that's unfortunately not true. You would eventually have, because like eventually your work as you progress, like it's gonna become huge, and you can't just do everything by yourself. Meaning you would need to communicate with other people. Hence,
Yeah.
what Bilal said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think my last question is, what do you think about Iliauni's extracurricular stuff that is going on?
I think that there's always more to come. Like from what we've heard, we've got a kind of a trailer sneak peek that our professor just dropped in a bomb on us, and he's like,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, I know, just like it was a drop mic, and he was like, yeah, let me just take that space. But yeah, it's pretty amazing. So with opportunities starting from Fab Lab, like it's something I'm really, really excited about. I've seen it. I've seen how it works. I've seen how there's a lot of examples in front of it. It's not just a concept. You have practical examples of modern businesses that Fab Lab has boosted. Tech businesses from other disciplines as well. Google Developers Club, you're doing an amazing job at it. So we have that as well. We've got other professors coming in from outside teaching us. We've got people in clubs. We've got a lot of activities. I think hackathons are a major part. The annual challenge we had with NASA,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's one of the biggest ones. It's one of just the biggest ones. IEEE. I think I can't count enough off the top of my head at the moment. And I think that's the beauty of Ilia. It's highly opportunity centric, and it kind of fits the purpose for everyone. It's not there's an opportunity for this person but not the other one. There's equal opportunity, and there's opportunity that excites everyone.
That is very true. I would like to add Code Academy, which I'm doing as well with collaboration with our university. Just a self-spawn here. Okay, so Bilal, tell me, what is your dream project?
My dream project. I think I'm yet to explore a lot of machine learning and neural networks. I've never had that much time on hand, to be fair. Something certainly like about is my vision about kind of bringing a very big change to how Georgian real estate works.
Yes,
And I'm not going to talk a lot about it because
that
it's
is the
kind of
closest thing.
disruptive. It's a very disruptive thing in my head. But I think adding elements, learning the skills, adding elements of neural networks, and a lot of cloud computing along with it to kind of revolutionize how people just even think, list, or evaluate. I think that's
Mhm,
evaluate the
mhm.
biggest part. Evaluate property in Georgia. It's a big change, and that's my dream project. I feel like that's the one project that gives me like kick to like what, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna work 16 hours if I have to, but I'm gonna do it, and that's the
That is,
one.
that's the spirit, yes. And again, I'm involved in that as well. I feel like I'm in everything the university is doing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like it's
Okay.
amazing. I have no ideas how you do it though. Like, trust me.
Yes. Okay, so my last question is, to someone who is at like 12th grade or 11th grade and they're confused about what they want to do, but like they're leaning towards in engineering and computer science, what is your, like, what piece of advice do you have for them?
My piece of advice would be come to technology if you love the process. And I'd allow, like, it's very brief if I just say it that way. But the thing is, the beauty about working in a technological field in STEM in any way or form is the process. It's not the end result in itself. I think the joy of working and the joy of all that frustration and pain that comes along working, debugging something, fixing something totally unexpected, totally something that you never saw, and all that learning and growth that comes from it, I don't think you can find it in another job. I don't think you can find it outside STEM. You could just go and become someone in accounting, or you could go into any other profession. And I'm not saying those professions are bad. I'm just saying I think this level of process that comes along into this and the resolutions needed in it, I think someone who really enjoys that brainstorm, that really enjoys the process, would be an ideal fit. For them, STEM is never going to be a pain. For them, it's the process of learning, it's a process of creating. Everything is a process in the end here. So if you learn the process, this is the perfect thing for you. You might choose a different path in it, but as long as you love the process, STEM is your fit. That's what I'd say to people.
I agree 100%. And I would suggest try learning like a language, a programming language, and see if it frustrates you or not. Like, of course, it's frustrating for everyone, but then it's frustrating in a good way. If that's the case, then yes, just engineering is your thing. But if not, then you're probably not fit for this.
Yeah, I think to say it better would be like, if it frustrates you, but you really still want to do it, and you're gonna do it regardless, you're in the right place then.
That is very true. And Bilal, thank you so much
You're
for joining
welcome.
us today. Yeah, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, and last but not least, we have Sanaz Rahbari. Sanaz, are you here?
Hey, yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Sorry if it took too long to get to you. So, yeah, okay, so please introduce yourself.
I'm Sanaz Rahbari. I'm from Iran. I'm in 5th semester of computer engineering, and it's my second bachelor. I got my first bachelor in Iran in architecture engineering. So, and yeah, I choose Ilia University for studying computer engineering because I found it popular, to be honest. So yeah.
Okay, but okay, so are you loving it now or not? Like, yeah, of course you're loving it. But like,
Yeah. I'm
okay.
here.
So what do you do now?
I'm working in Globe company as well as Bilal. I'm in tech department, but in finance and compliance part of it. So yeah.
Okay, so what is like your next step? Like, what language you want to learn? What field do you want to explore more?
Professionally, as I'm working right now, I do work with a lot of data and I have to analyze them, make a report. So, and during this process, I found data science very interesting and useful. So, my aim is for Python for machine learning and like I want to go for that.
Okay, yeah. So again, having a rise in computer science. Data science. Here we go. Proof. Okay, so what has helped you in your professional life? I mean, from university.
From university, first, I didn't have much background about computer engineering when I started university, but on the first semester, there was an event for finding job, an internship at the university. So I just went there and I talked to some companies and I learned more and get some idea about the future job that I'm gonna have and the professions that I can choose after I finish my university. So that's one of the best things that is happening in Ilia University. And also the other thing is Google Developers Club and the Google competition that we had recently. I participated. Yeah, I we couldn't finish our project on time. Yeah, I know, but we learned a lot, and we still win. So we grow, we learn, we found out what was our mistake. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's actually a very good point, that you don't actually have to win something to learn something. I think the best thing about, in general, hackathons, Google Solution Challenge, NASA, whatever, is having access to these awesome people as mentors that are just there to basically
Exactly.
help you out. So I think that's a very good opportunity. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, go on.
Yeah, you can have to you have access to different platforms that they suggest you. You can talk to mentors that the mentors are professors from our university. As I know, Mr. Erekle was one of the mentors for the Solution Challenge. So yeah, we have a lot of opportunities to
100% agree
learn.
with you. Yeah. So, you said you work at the same company, I mean, startup that Bilal is working for. How did you find the job?
Facebook job. Well, my aim wasn't exactly technology, because when I found it, I didn't have much knowledge and experience. So I was searching more for like graphic designer or any architect job in that way. And at first I started as social media designer. For a few months I was designing posts, stories, and during the time I found my way uh, towards tech, and here I am.
Okay,
At,
so the conclusion is that you check Facebook ads, guys, Facebook jobs.
yes, Facebook, jobs.ge, everywhere, all the platforms.
LinkedIn, of course, that's everyone's favorite as well. Okay, so have you participated in any, well, you're speaking in the Google Developers Club in Iliauni as well right now, but have you participated in any of the extracurricular stuff in Ilia? I mean, except Google. Yeah.
Not exactly. I participated in events that's happening in that's our university holding, like uh, I think it was last year before quarantine.
Yes.
We had a lot of events going on. Yeah, I was very interested in different events, because it just it gives you a lot of information about what's going on right now. So you may not check the new recent news on internet, but in this event you met different people who are working in the same field as you. They have experience. You can talk to them. You can share, even share contact, and yeah, you can make a lot of connection, and that helps you to find a job, to even start your own company or business if you have connection.
Yeah, again, moral of the story, guys, make connection with anyone that you see. Try to like add them on Facebook or something like that. That's a advice no one asked for me. Okay, so my other question is that what, like as an engineer, what do you think is the most important soft skill that you need to have to succeed?
Be responsible for the project you have, and of course you have to be team player. Wherever you work, you have to be team player. You have to work with other people, and even in I would say my personal experience was that I had different tasks and positions. since I started working. Like I started as social media designer. I moved to tech department, but there was a need again for designer. I came back to that department. So multitasking, it's also important because it gives you wider opportunity
I can
to grow.
definitely. Yeah, coding in general, when you want to work, you have to multitask because it's a wide range of activities that's going on, and you eventually have to do maybe like 2, 3 things at the same time. So that's a great point. And my last question, Sanaz, is that if you could give an advice to someone who's looking for a job in Georgia or in general is trying to pick a major in like who wants to become an engineer basically, what's your piece of advice for them?
I would say think about what you're gonna do exactly in the future, like what you're gonna choose. You can't choose and said, okay, I will figure it out. Why? It's not exactly that. You have to have in your mind that which way you want to exactly go. So you can work on it during the time that you're studying. So you can have your dream job. I would put it that way. And it's
so
good also to have a little bit background of the field that you want to choose before choosing it, because it helps you to learn and to pass the exams, I would say. Also, yeah.
Yeah, I 100%
So,
agree.
yeah.
So thank you so much, Sanaz. It was
Thank
also
you for having me.
yeah. Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Okay, so thank you to all the 4 speakers that we had for today. Thank you for sticking with us and listening to our experts talk about computer engineering, computer science, and electrical engineering. And yes, so I think if you don't have any questions, see you soon in the next Technova.
Thank you very much, Negar.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Nagar. That was amazing.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much, Nagar.